What's going on, homies? Welcome to the Cracked Soccer Podcast, episode number 52. The Cracked Soccer Podcast is going international, ladies and gentlemen. No MLS action this last week, so we're covering all of the friendlies, all of the qualifiers for the FIFA World Cup in this episode. You're going to want to tune in. You're going to want to subscribe, like, and all the different things. Tap in, baby. Bang, bang. Boom.
Subscribe.
Yeah, what's the saying? So many of you are actually not subscribed to this channel, so please
Yeah, we need to
subscribe.
pull up the
because
analytics and be like 99% of the viewers are not subscribed.
I know, dude. I feel like every channel's doing that these days. It's just 85% of you have not subscribed, and you guys are viewing our channel. Please subscribe. You know, I would love it if you guys all subscribe, but I also get it. So it is what it is. But yeah, man, a lot of games been going on. A lot of international games have been being played right now. Obviously, no MLS action given the international break, but I would hope you've been watching some of these games. Have you've been tuning in? You've been catching all the action, dude, or what?
You want me to be honest or no?
I want you to be honest, dude.
No.
Like, I know it's not Barcelona, so I know you're very selective in your time of watching games, but
And they take too many subscriptions to watch this. Well, apparently it's all on Fox.
yeah, it's on Fox, FS1 typically. So, you know, you kind of have to have, I guess, TV for the most part, right? I want to say, I don't even know if Paramount is playing some of these. I feel like Paramount's usually pretty good
I
about
wonder
sharing
if
stuff.
Paramount
But
does, because I have that. I know that I have that for sure.
yeah, either Paramount or like Peacock, maybe. I don't know. I have too many subscriptions, so I have it. You know, it's just kind of a joke.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, we didn't really have any sort of, you know, MLS games on. A good amount of MLS players did play in some of these international games, which is awesome. If able, we'll kind of, you know, mention that. But to be honest, the biggest thing over this last week and this last weekend, I mean, even today, we're recording this on Tuesday, the 31st of March. There's games on today, you know, some of these qualifiers going on right now. So that'll be kind of the main focus areas. So without further ado, why don't we just get right into it? Why don't we get cracked up in here, boy? Ooh, what do you got, dude? What you got today?
You want me to show you?
What is that?
It's a Cali Squeeze.
Cali Squeeze. Is that alcoholic?
Mm-hmm.
Heard of that?
And I'm not even old enough to drink, guys. Don't tell anybody.
That sounds delicious. Very nice. Okay, cool. So for those of you that don't know, for those of you that weren't really kind of tuning in to the international break, there were some qualifiers. So before, you know, from last week's episode, there were 6 spots available for the 2026 World Cup, the 6 final spots in the tournament, and they've basically all been filled. The last one to be filled will be played today, actually, at 9 Mountain Standard Time, I believe. And so we'll kind of cover that a little bit. But in terms of the qualifiers, we did want to start off with the UEFA, the European qualifiers, first and foremost. And if you didn't see any of the first games that happened on the 26th, there was quite a few games that went on. I believe there's 8 games, and then basically the winners of those went on to the next round. And then there were 4 games, and in those 4 games, it was Bosnia and Herzegovina versus Italy, Czech Republic versus Denmark, Kosovo versus Turkey, and Sweden versus Poland.
I'm excited to see how Italy does in the World Cup this year.
Too soon, brother. Too soon. So that is the very first game we'll kind of bring up and discuss, because at this very moment, everybody's talking about it. Everybody's just dogging on Italy, man. So Italy lose to Bosnia in a penalty shootout. I believe the penalty shootout was 4-1, if I'm not mistaken. So they did end up losing this game. It was actually the first time they've ever lost to Bosnia and Herzegovina in international play at all. So it was quite the win for Bosnia. And again, they fail to qualify for a World Cup for the 3rd time in a row.
Hat trick.
What a hat trick, man. So lots to discuss here, dude. I just got to ask, though, like from a surface level, without getting too crazy into it, what are your thoughts on Italy missing a 3rd World Cup, dude?
What can I say? I mean, I kind of want to say I'm surprised, but at the same time, like we said, it's the 3rd time around. I'm looking at their squad right now, and they have a great midfield. I feel like they should be winning these games. They should have won this game. Bastoni's a great defender. Donnarumma was technically the best keeper in the world last year. He won everything with PSG, and now he's at Manchester City. So their team should be in the World Cup. Like if you were to look at this team just on paper, you would assume they'd be playing in the World Cup. But I just don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's Gattuso over here. You know, sometimes maybe good, sometimes or most of the time now shit. You know, But
That's good.
yeah, but I don't know. I don't know what to say. They're bad. Like
Yeah,
it's been a constant thing ever since they won the Euros back in
2020.
2020. Well, technically it was 21. So it was the 2020 Euros, but I believe they played it in 21 if I remember
Hmm.
correctly. But yeah, ever since then they've just been free falling, and I
Yeah.
don't know what to say, man. They just need to get something figured out over there.
Yeah, for sure. Honestly, dude, like I'm super sad that Italy didn't make it to the World Cup. I think when I think about Italy, I think of a stacked team every single time, right? I remember them in 2006 when they won the World Cup. That was like when I really was into soccer and I got into it as a kid, and watching Italy just dominate was awesome to see, right? So it's sad, dude. I think it's super sad to watch a team that was so high, a four-time world champion, just fail to qualify for the third time, dude. Like that's so hard. You know what I mean?
It's a curse slash karma for talking bad about Zidane's sister.
Dude, that's pretty wild. Maybe. That's a good point. But I did watch a good chunk of this game. Honestly, Italy should have won this game. To be completely honest with you, at the very beginning, I think they scored early on, so they did have
15
a
minutes.
goal. Yeah, in the 15th minute by Moise Kean, which
Hmm.
he's a stud. He's pretty good. And then I'm gonna be honest with you, the second they got this red card, the second Alessandro Bastoni got this red card, it was all downhill, dude. It was just these guys were fighting for their lives just to try to stay in it. And I just thought it was like a panic. You know when you watch a team and they just panic playing defense,
Hmm.
they're just clearing it every second
Yeah,
they can.
yeah.
That's how it was for most of this game. And so I think that really just changed the dynamic of this game and this team. And don't get me wrong, they did have some chances to possibly go and win, but they couldn't get it done. They couldn't score. Keane even had a big breakaway where it was 1-on-1, and I thought, okay, game, it's over, it's done. It was like in the second half, missed it, flew it. It was tough to watch this game for sure for Italy.
Yeah. I mean, if you have a breakaway like that and a very important game, again, it's been what? Since 2018? Or I guess 2014 was the last time they played in a World Cup.
Mm.
So a lot of these players, these Italian players, they're too young to have been in a situation where you're fighting to get into the World Cup or, so maybe they just need some more time. I feel like a lot of these players are young. Tonali's 25. By the time the next World Cup comes around, he should be in his prime. I mean, Donnarumma's probably going to be playing for a minute. So they just need to get a good team locked in and playing well together and kind of getting in some situations where you got to get some competitive games in. Unfortunately, I feel that's what it is because if you're over here playing defense, very, I guess you can say, erratic. You know how you were saying, just every time the ball comes in, you just start clearing it and
Yeah,
everything. Yeah, you just need to be able to. And I feel like that probably does come down to the coach, where you're like, hey, we're playing three in the back. We lost Bastoni. Let's figure something out. So maybe
yeah,
it's just a coaching change.
yeah. Maybe he did mention that if they weren't going to make it to the World Cup this year, he was going to move away, very very far away from Italy. I saw somebody pull up that tweet, so he might be done. I would hate to go back
Hey,
to Italy if I were them.
just because Italy isn't going to the World Cup doesn't mean you can't come to the U.S. and watch, right?
There you go. Yeah, come watch, dude. It's okay. But I will say too, Donnarumma had a hell of a game, dude. He had 10 saves in this game, and he just kind of kept them alive for this entire game. It could have been so much worse, to be honest with you, for Italy. And I think at the end of the day, yeah, dude, 30 total shots Bosnia had, as opposed to Italy's 9. So again, they could have won this game. If you look at FOTMOB, they also have the big chances. Italy had 2, and Bosnia only had 1. So that other big chance was definitely, the miss by Keane, which was you had to put that one away. You know what I mean? So very sad to see. Unfortunate for Italy, but maybe what is it? 20, maybe 2030, bro. Maybe 2030. The other games we did have Czech Republic versus Denmark, which Czech Republic won that game 3-1 in penalties. So a sad fall for Denmark in the qualifiers. Anders Dreyer was on this squad. He did come in, an MLS player, right? He came in the 86th minute and actually got an assist.
Hmm.
So way to go, Anders Dreyer, dude. Look at that. Showing up for the MLS and San Diego FC, dude. That's freaking awesome.
I feel like, I guess I can't say disrespectful, but just with the season he had last year,
Yeah.
I feel like you gotta. obviously he played a good amount of minutes because they went into overtime. So he played, what was it, 36 minutes. With him coming in and getting an assist, I feel like this should show Denmark, let's give this guy some more time, because we're out here giving 34-year-old Eriksson more minutes than a 27-year-old Andres Dreyer, who's, I guess you could say, in his prime. Yes, it may be the MLS, but
He plays well.
when you're a good player, you're a good player. It doesn't matter where you are. So
Yeah. He needs more minutes, man, because Eriksson did convert his penalty and Dreyer did not. So that's not a good look. But,
And then, like I was mentioning to you, I mean, obviously, what doesn't help Denmark is the fact that they're missing probably their number one goalkeeper. Kasper Schmeichel is injured, so even if they made it into the World Cup, he wouldn't have played for them. But I mean, that's a tough loss for Denmark. So
yeah, that's a loss, man. Maybe next time. So that one was a tough one, a tough game for Denmark, tough loss. There was another one that was pretty interesting: Kosovo versus Turkey. Turkey ended up winning this game, but I did want to shout out Kosovo for putting on an absolute show in the game before, where they beat Slovakia 4-3, my guy. It was an absolute, just slugfest, dude. Just back and forth. Like, you get Slovakia scoring in the 6th minute, then they answer in the 21st, then Slovakia comes back in the 45th, and then Kosovo goes and just scores 3 goals in the 45th, 47th, 60th, and 72nd minute. And then freaking Slovakia just trying to gasp for air and gets a 94th minute goal, dude. And it's just this tense game all around, dude. It was absolutely insane. But it was obviously just too little too late, against a pretty good Turkey team that beat them just 1-0. So it looked pretty even, to be honest with you, like a pretty even matchup. But, it would have been so cool to see a country like Kosovo go to the World Cup, which, by the way, they're pretty dang young. Do you know how old the country Kosovo is?
they gotta be at least 25.
Dude, you're close, my guy. They're 18 years old. Kosovo has only been a country for 18 years. They're super young, so watch out, man. They're gonna they're gonna show up at some point and be
They can't even
contenders for
drink
the
in the
World Cup one
U.S.
day. Yeah, dude. They can't even they can't even drink in the US, my guy. So that's funny. And then the last one for the Euros was Sweden against Poland, where Sweden did end up winning 3-2 against the Polish. Which what it looks like Poland dominated this game for the most part in terms of ball possession and shots. Pretty crazy that they ended up losing this game, but hats off to Sweden, the Ibrahimovic country. Super cool to see, but not sure if you know anybody here or kind of had any comments on this game.
Know what I'm doing?
I'm assuming it's a celebration of someone, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's their striker Gyökeres, who plays for Arsenal. He was up at Benfica. Who was it? Oh no, it was Sporting. And bro was cooking out in Sporting. If you go look at his stats, he had 102 games for them and 97 goals. So he was
Wow.
pretty close to matching his record. But yeah, he just went to Arsenal. I believe they paid like 90 something million for him. So he's been popping off. He's been carrying the torch for Ibrahimovic. But I mean, unfortunate for Poland, unfortunate for Lewandowski, which I'm assuming he would have been going if they made it. I don't see why they wouldn't take him, even if he was just a bench player. So it sucks to see a legend of the game miss out on his last, I'm not going to say potential, his last World Cup.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's nice to see a young Swedish team going in and, making it happen. Maybe they can do some stuff. Obviously, Elanga's playing. He had a pretty decent game against Barcelona in the Champions League where he scored 2 goals against them. So this team up top could be very dangerous. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't know most of these players. Lindelof, he's been pretty decent for some years. So, yeah, I mean, the good teams we can get in the World Cup, the better product we get. So, yeah, shout out
For
to
sure.
Gyökeres, who I believe this might be his first World Cup, if I'm
Oh,
not mistaken.
okay.
So, yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah,
He's only, what, 27?
yeah, and in 2022 he was at Coventry City, so I can't imagine,
Yeah.
you know.
That'll be cool, man. That'll be awesome for him. That'll be a good
Sir.
2026 World Cup. Why not, dude? So yeah, at the end of the day, Bosnia, Czech Republic, Turkey, and Sweden go on and have qualified for the World Cup in the European playoff / qualifier. So hats off to them. There is another qualifier going on, basically like 2 more spots. As of right now, the DR Congo is in, I believe. It looks like this is like
Yes.
real time, so
Yes.
I believe that the game is over. Yeah, after
They
extra
won
time.
1-0, I believe, right? Yep.
Yeah, yep. So DR Congo beat Jamaica. Super sad, but they beat them 1-0, and they had a goal in the 100th minute. My guy, that's tough to kind of go out that way.
Basically
Crazy
5
enough.
minutes before being able to get into it.
What?
5 minutes. I am, yeah. I was saying basically 5 minutes before they were able to get into the World Cup, possibly.
Yeah, yeah. It's wild, dude. So, and it's crazy too. The guy that scored the goal was the what's it called, the defender. He plays for Burnley, Axel
Burnley.
Tuanzebe. So super cool. That's kind of interesting. I honestly don't know anything about DR Congo, nor did I know anything about Jamaica. I think Jamaica has solid kits every single year, and that's sad that they won't be
Mm-hmm.
in the World Cup to display those.
Sucks for Andre Blake, his club team's ass, and then he's not playing in the
Andre
World
Blake.
Cup, so he plays for Philly. He's their goalie.
Oh, gotcha. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Another
that's
MLS
true.
star.
Yeah, there you go. Nice. So yeah, they're in, and then later today at 9 o'clock, possibly when this episode, likely when this episode's over, we'll also have Iraq taking on Bolivia for the last and final spot. These guys are playing in Mexico, dude. They're playing in the BBVA.
Bebe.
Uve.
What?
But yes, how do you say V in Spanish?
I don't know.
Uve. That's how you say it.
Okay. Really?
Yeah, look it up. But yeah, they're playing in Monterrey right now. So they're kind of getting ready. The game's in an hour and a half. Iraq playing Bolivia. I saw when they were doing the games before this, there was a lot of Bolivia fans in Mexico. There was some stuff going on. They were like, oh, dude, Bolivia's taking over Mexico, man. Look at all these people. But I love the energy, man. They ended up beating Suriname to get into this game. So they beat them 2-1. A pretty exciting 2-1 game. They had a goal in the 48th minute, and then Suriname equalized, or sorry, yeah, oh no, I'm sorry. Suriname got ahead in the 48th, and then Bolivia scored 2 to go ahead and win this game. So a lot of yellow cards too at the end of this game. So they were definitely trying to get into the World Cup, But very cool. They'll be playing, like I said, later today, and that will be for the final World Cup spot between Iraq and Bolivia. Wow.
Who Oh, dang. Did you see who they're gonna have to play against? Did you see their group?
Bolivia or whoever wins this?
Yeah. It's
Not yet.
France, Senegal, and Norway.
Oh my
They're
gosh.
cooked, bro.
It's the group of death.
Senegal,
Speaking of, yeah, I was gonna say. Speaking of Senegal, what happened with them, dude?
the ex AFCON champions, bro. When was this? This was like a week or two ago now that this happened.
I think
So,
so.
do you know the story? Like what happened during the
Kinda,
final?
but
So basically,
please enlighten me.
what happened is, what is their name? They did good last
Morocco.
year. Morocco last year, last World Cup. So Morocco, they're having the AFCON final. Morocco gets a final, and for whatever reason, they obviously weren't very happy with the call from the ref. So Senegal's like, you know what? Screw this, guys. Like, let's go. Let's get off the pitch. Let's just go complain. And then eventually, I don't know, the refs or whatever, they're like, okay, you know what, guys, let's just go back out and finish the game. They go finish the game. Ibrahim Diaz, that trash player for Real Madrid, misses the penalty, and then they go into overtime, and Senegal ends up winning the whole thing, right? So they
Mhm.
become the AFCON champions, and then a month or so
Months
later,
after, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
like months after, it just comes in, they're like, hey, you know what? Like, actually, you're not the champions anymore. Morocco won 3-0 because we're taking you walking off the field as a forfeit.
Yeah.
So they were stripped of the title and it was given to Morocco. So yeah, fun story. Crazy.
Dude, I just can't believe that they would walk off the field because they just thought like, "Yep, this is ridiculous. We're done. We're out of here." And they bounce. And then they do that. Obviously that's like a forfeit. I mean, dude, like
Yeah.
in my book, that's a forfeit, bro. You're leaving the pitch, like your whole team's leaving. See you later. Game's over, dude. Call it. Bang bang. But then did you see what happened with Senegal when they were playing some of these friendlies? How
Oh,
they walked out? Dude, they walked out with the AFCON trophy. Did
so
you
they
see
were doing
that?
the friendlies and walking around like showing it off.
Yeah, dude.
That's funny.
So yeah, I forget who Senegal ended up playing, but they were playing. Let me see if I can pull this up because that was so funny.
Imagine if Ghana walked off after freaking Suarez did that handball or whatever.
Yeah, do that. That one.
bro.
That's a wound that's never gonna
It's
heal, dude.
honestly
That's a
like
tough one.
it's surprising that they even allowed them to come back to the game after leaving.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
letting them finish off the game because
Hmm.
I mean I get it, it's like a moment thing, but if you're gonna get it figure it out sooner rather than later, like a few months after having them
Yeah,
walking around celebrating the trophy, having a whole parade and everything, and then
yeah.
they
So
get
check
stripped
this
of
out.
it.
Check this out, dude. Oh my gosh. See if I can find it. Yeah. Okay. Here, I'll message this to you really quick so you can share it. Man, this is funny, bro. This is just like go on the
Mhm.
Discord. Hopefully you can log in. It's from Facebook, so we'll see if
Yeah,
it's okay. But
I should be able
we'll just
to.
kind of mute it and we can probably share it. But this was against who were they playing? So they were playing. I don't remember who. And hopefully this is accurate information. From my understanding, it was Senegal had paraded AFCON trophy ahead of their friendly against Peru, despite CAF stripping them. Yeah. So this was
Oh,
against
so this was
Peru.
after it happened?
Yeah. This was all after they were
What?
stripped of the thing, and so they came out like this, bro, like with the trophy in hand, basically saying, "Yo, this is our trophy. Like, come and get it." Like we're still the winners, basically. And look,
What the heck? That's kind of
taking
embarrassing
pictures,
if I'm being honest.
dude. That's some balls, man. That's like wow, that's pretty insane. Like they really don't think they did anything wrong
Bro,
whatsoever.
freaking Koulibaly over here. Oh my gosh, bro. Come on. Have
Yeah, have some. Yeah, exactly. Have some dignity, man. Take it, take it in the chin. But anyways, yeah. So those are the qualifiers. The biggest thing, again, biggest takeaway I would say is just Italy missing the World Cup for the third time. Very sad to see, but at the end of the day, we did get 4 brand new teams into the World Cup because of these qualifiers. So super cool to see. We also have a couple of international friendlies that have been going on, which we wanted to kind of discuss.
I have a quick question for you
Yep.
involving these friendlies. I don't
Okay.
know if
Yeah. Oh, let's do it.
obviously they're friendlies. Do you think, because this is how it always is, Mexico plays one team, the US plays one team, and then
Yep.
they sort of just switch back and forth. Do you think the result of these friendlies for Mexico, so like let's say obviously Mexico tied against Portugal 0-0,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
we know now that the US lost 2-0 to Portugal. Do you think these results will have anything to do going into the World Cup and being, it's kind of like when you're doing something with your friend, obviously it's I would think it's a friendly competition between the US and Mexico when it comes to soccer, but it's like, hey, you know what? Like we beat the team you couldn't beat or you lost to the team that we didn't lose to. Do you think that has anything to do going into the World Cup, like whether it's confidence levels going into it or anything like that?
If you asked me that question like a year ago, I would say it doesn't matter. But the fact that we're 75 days away from the World Cup, yeah, I think it matters. I definitely think, there's something to be said about, oh, are they trying out new little tactics here and there? Yeah, probably. Maybe they're also maybe not showing their full hand, like
Hmm.
they're not showing their team at its fullest potential, like totally get it, right? But at the end of the day, like these are like some of the last games you're gonna have before the World Cups. Might as well try to show some of the finished product and try to get, some goals, some wins, because you already know what's going to happen.
Hmm.
Okay, the US just lost against Portugal and they got killed by Belgium.
Hmm.
Everybody's going to say the USA is cooked. USA is not going to they're going to get grouped. They're not even going to make it out of the group stage. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if it happened to Mexico, the same thing, right? If Mexico loses both games, they're going to say, oh, Mexico, like they're just going to lose. It's just the same thing. I always get my hopes up and then they lose. Like it's just, you have to take some of these games serious because we're so close to
Hmm.
the World Cup.
Yeah.
So I do think you wanna get a couple wins. Yes, did they play quality teams? For sure. They played a very good Belgium team and a pretty good Portugal team, right? So
Hmm.
that's good, but it's also like you might have wanted to win at least one of those, but clearly you couldn't get that done. So does it look bad? Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
So but yeah, it's tough, dude. What do you think? I mean, do you even think some of these friendlies are important? Because I think, sometimes you look at some of the friendlies too, like, do they really matter? Do they really, are they really going to play at their fullest potential? Do they just not want to get certain players like injured? Because I don't know if you saw too, like the England game, I forget who they were playing, but there was a really hard tackle that went on with Phil Foden, and he got hit pretty dang hard. And it was one of those situations where it was like, dude, if he was, you know, if his foot was planted differently, if he was just kind of like in a different movement, his leg snaps and he's out of the World Cup and he's out for a year plus. You know what I mean? Like, do some of these like matter in a sense of let's play hard into our fullest potential?
What I will say is it depends. Obviously, I think and this is obviously no disrespect to the US, Mexico, or Canada, but they're not one of the favorite teams going into this. So I think for them, it does matter a lot more than it does for an Argentina, for a Spain. Because Spain, they know their squad. They know Lamine Yamal's playing for sure. They know these players. So they're sort of just getting a bit into the rhythm going into the World Cup. The US has been basically rebuilding. They have Pochettino. He's trying to figure out tactics. Like you said, they're probably not playing all their cards. They're playing it a bit safe. They don't want to injure their players. But I feel like they also have to play hard against these teams like Portugal, like Belgium, because the whole world is watching the US right now. Like I've seen a lot of talk about like, dude, the US lost whatever it was, 4-1 to Belgium, and Belgium's not even that good of a team. This is like, it is a friendly, but you're also making a statement to the world going into the World Cup, going in and being a host country. So I feel like for those three teams, it does matter to try, but try safely, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like,
Build momentum.
yeah, build momentum, get that. If you beat a Portugal team, yes, it's a friendly, but if you lose to it, people are also going to be like, yeah, dude, your ass. So
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
I think it matters for those teams, but
Yeah, so I guess that brings me to my first point of like, okay, so now we've seen this. Some of these games have already passed. The USA does fail to win both of those, either of those games, falling, I believe it was 5-2 to Belgium and now 2-0 to Portugal. So, it's one of those where, it does the US know what they're going to do come the 2026 World Cup? Like, is this a situation where, are they, to put it lightly, like, are they cooked, right? Like, are they actually ready for 2026? Are they ready for this opening match to legitimately play and try to compete for the World Cup? Because you've probably seen, Pochettino says this team is a semifinal team. Like, this team, he believes he can take them to the semifinal and compete for the World Cup, right? And when you look at the team that they put on the field against Portugal, like, you got Miles, you got Richard, you got Freeman, you got McKinney, Berhalter, Pulisic, Weah, Tillman. Like, you got some big names up in there, right?
mm-hmm.
And you still lose to Portugal and you let Bruno Fernandes put two in there on this team. So, like, is this a bad look for the U.S. going into the World Cup?
I want to say yes,
Mm-hmm.
but maybe it's just me being more like biased. What's going on here? Well, I'll talk about that after. Obviously, it's going to be a bad look because the US is home of soccer, not football, right? So everybody wants to talk smack on the US, being like, you guys aren't built for this, whatever it is. So yeah, it is a bad look. I think it's still a friendly. So once you actually have that pressure of, okay, like this is serious now, I do think they can get out of the group for sure. I don't know how far they can make it out of the group stages, if I'm being honest. I don't agree with Pochettino. I don't think they're a semifinal team, if I'm being honest. But yeah, they should be able to compete. Obviously, Pulisic only got 46 minutes. Weston McKennie only got 46. And I believe because Pochettino knows, you know what, these two, they're in the squad for sure, like pretty much guaranteed. Let's give somebody else a couple chances. So yeah, I think they'll be able to compete. I think they'll be able to make a splash. I really do. I don't know if I'm being optimistic just because they're at home, but I feel like if there was ever a time to do something, and the way the World Cup usually is most of the time the host countries do really well. And, because they're like,
Right.
hey, we're at home. If there's ever
Yeah.
a time for the US to have as much fans as they possibly can in a World Cup, it's now. Because
Right.
you're going to have casual US fans that don't
Mm-hmm.
care to spend all this money to go out of the country to watch a game, where they're like, oh, you know what? Maybe I will spend $500 to go watch my country. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I think
Yeah,
now is the time to do that. So,
for sure. I mean, yeah, at the end of the day, these are friendlies, right? Everybody's going to talk and discuss how this is a bad look and the U.S.
Mhm.
is in a bad position. They're going to be really bad in the World Cup.
Mhm.
It is what it is, man. Like, it's a friendly. They lost. They lost to Belgium. I believe honestly, they're pretty highly ranked, Belgium. They'd probably be a pretty, not necessarily the favorite to win, but definitely a competitor in the World Cup this year.
Yeah,
And then Portugal, even without, Cristiano Ronaldo, like, they're still a pretty decent team
they play
with
better without him.
I mean, they beat the U.S. So, João Felix getting in and Bruno Fernandes, like, it's a tough team. But I agree. I think, like you said, what a what a what a great opportunity to try and get some people to kind of watch the U.S. and try to give them that
Mhm.
home field advantage. And I will say this too, like, I get it. Like, the U.S. is huge. The U.S. is honestly a giant melting pot of different personalities, cultures, and people from different areas. Like, I know it's gonna be a home game for the US, but it's also going to be somewhat of an away game for a lot of them because there's so many people from different countries in the US. So even if they are playing in California or Texas or New York, wherever the heck they're going to play, like, it is going to be like we'll kind of watch because it's the US, but it's also like maybe there's going to be a lot of people rooting for the other team as well, right? Because there's probably people from that country here,
Yeah.
you know. So I challenge anybody that's like, hey, if you really want this sport to grow, if you want the U.S. men's national team to feel supported and, like, to give them some of that drive to be better, root for them. Like, fucking put your jersey on, put something on that says the U.S. and be like, yo, let's win this game. Like, stop being all this, like you said, like, bring them down and nitpick every single freaking thing that they do. Like, sure, there's gonna be critics for that and viewers for that and whatnot, but, like, dude, support them. Like,
Hmm.
go to the games, root for them, send tweets and or whatever the heck, and post on your Instagram and Facebook, do social media, like, root for this team, show that you want them to win. Don't just be some freaking hater because it's the US. Like, come on, dude. Like, let's have them win something. So I agree with you. I think it's they're just friendlies, so I think they'll do well in the World Cup. But anything can happen, dude. It's the World Cup. In their group is them, Paraguay, Australia, and Turkey. So I mean, if you're gonna get out of this group stage, you should be able to do it here because you're probably going to compete with Paraguay and Turkey, and arguably it could just be you in this group. So you should be able to get out, I
Yeah.
think, right?
Yeah, for sure. I definitely think they should make it out of group stage. If they don't, if for whatever reason, I don't see it happening, but for whatever reason, if they do not make it out of the group stage in their own country, it's going to be a very bad look. Not only for it's going to be a very bad look for US soccer because you're going to have, like I said, those casual fans that don't normally watch these games and they're like, "Hey, you know what? The World Cup is here. Let me
Mm-hmm.
maybe get more invested." And you go in and you don't even make it out of the group in your own country, they're gonna be like, bro, we suck. Why do I want to watch this? you know.
Yeah,
So this
exactly.
this there's a lot riding on the U.S. in this World Cup. So hopefully they don't let the pressure get to them. Maybe we're making it seem like there's a lot more pressure, and maybe they don't feel that pressure. Maybe they're like Chloe Kelly, what pressure? But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah,
I am rooting for all three, the
for
U.S.,
sure.
Mexico, and Canada, to get out of their groups and to make a splash and show them that the CONCACAF can bring great soccer and competitiveness to some of these big countries out there. So
Yeah, I love that, dude. Hell yeah. Solid. And then we'll kind of go off into the next country that we've kind of always been following as well. But Mexico, 16th ranked Mexico, did end up tying against Portugal 0-0. And as we speak, they're actually up 1-0 against Belgium. So again, Belgium is ranked number 9. Okay, they're not a bad team. They have some very good players on that squad, so definitely, a team to be reckoned with. But as of right now, they have so many injuries. Mexico has so many
go
injuries.
look at their lineup and their bench real quick.
Yeah,
No, go
it's
look at it
pretty.
like on Football. Go look at their bench.
Yeah, I see all the injuries right now, and it's just Malagon, Ruiz, Chavez, Alvarez, Mora, Orozco. Like, dude, it's so sad to see.
Yeah,
The bench is empty. So from
that's
what
what.
I
That's
can
why.
see, the bench is empty, guys, with Mexico. So they really can't be getting any more injuries because
Hmm.
that just blows. I mean, I think they definitely can call more people up because there's a couple other players. I think Rangel, he plays for Chivas, no? I think he plays for Chivas. They did call up Memo Ochoa, which was something that I don't know if we mentioned it during the last
I
podcast,
don't think
but
we did.
Ochoa is coming and did get called up for the national team. He might even be, I mean, I would say he's the third, but wouldn't it be cool to see Memo Ochoa in his, sixth World Cup for Mexico?
Mm-hmm.
That would be pretty cool. I'm sure they'll kind of try to do that to sell the hype and sell some jerseys,
Wish I
So
wish I wish I saved it, but there was a stat with Cristiano Ronaldo and Christian Ochoa, and it was like only two.
Christian Ochoa, Memo Ochoa.
Memo Ochoa and Cristiano Ronaldo, bro. Sorry, um, but it was like a stat. It's like only two players in the world have made it to 5 World Cups and not scored a single goal in the knockout stages, and it was Cristiano Ronaldo and Memo Ochoa.
A goalie and one of the greatest scorers in the world that can't score
Yeah,
in the freaking playoffs in the
that's
World Cup. Yeah.
crazy, huh?
That is wild. But anyways, yeah. So, well, I'd love to see Memo Ochoa up in the freaking stage again, dude. That's freaking awesome. But I'm always in that camp of, yes, I'm with you on the CONCACAF teams trying to make them play well, but I'm always on, please, Mexico or the US
Mm-hmm.
get far and win the damn World Cup, because that's my two nationalities, dude. Like, I'm Mexican, but I'm born and raised in the US. Like, I want one of those two countries to win every single time, every single freaking World Cup.
For sure. And then I'm looking at this squad and I completely forgot about Brian Gutierrez. Do you remember Brian Gutierrez that played for the Chicago Fire? He's also
Oh yeah, yeah,
Mexican
yeah.
American. He chose
Huh?
to play for Mexico, so he's in the team right now and
Is he in the line?
he,
He's not in the lineup
yeah,
right
he is.
now.
He is. Right mid.
He is.
Yep. Right mid.
Oh, he is.
Yeah.
Wow.
And even
You know who else?
Fidalgo?
No. Where's the other guy?
Which one?
He played for the Sounders. What's his
Ferreria?
name? No, 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 no. He did the same thing with Gutierrez. He was like a US, I don't know, I think it was US, but then he decided to go with the Mexico national team. What's his name?
Can't think of it.
Obed Vargas. Obed Vargas. He's not on there. Lineup. Where would he be? Yeah, remember he's in Atletico de Madrid. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's not in there. That's weird.
Mexico, there he is.
Yeah.
I wonder. See, that's the hard thing is you play in the US, the MLS, you're doing well, but as soon as you go to a team like Atletico Madrid, then it becomes a bit hard because you can't make as big of a splash, so you basically have to hope that the coach is like, you know what, this is what he did before he moved, so let's get him into the games. I can't see the bench. There's no
Yeah, I don't
bench,
know.
so I don't know if he's on
I
the
know.
bench or not. So, but
Yeah.
yeah, I am looking at him now. So
Yeah. So, I mean, if he plays, that'll be awesome. That'll be another like ex MLS player that is obviously on the national stage. So that'll be cool. But yeah, we'll see, man. I hope Mexico does well. I hope they beat Belgium. Belgium doesn't look like they're playing very well right now, but
he is on the
they
bench.
could turn it on.
Obed Vargas is on the bench, and so is
Okay.
Ochoa.
Okay. Nice. Solid. So yeah, that'll be cool to see either of them. But yeah, we'll see how Mexico ends up. Right now, they're winning 1-0, so hopefully they get the win. But that'll be a great look for them and all the Mexican nationals that are going to be excited to watch their team play, especially after a nice win against a very highly ranked Belgium team. So very cool to see. Maybe the other one that I wanted to just kind of mention on a couple of these other friendlies is probably the elephant in the room. The team that I think most everyone will have either going to the final or winning the final. And that's France, because I think if you look at them on paper, they probably have the most stacked team
It's not fair.
out of every single country that's playing right now. They have a first team that could be the highest paid first team in any league. They have a second team that could probably also be a first team in any league, and a third and a fourth team that probably could also be, competitive in any league. So, what are your thoughts on France, dude? Because I know you're a big Spain guy, Argentina guy. Like, I get it. What are your thoughts on just the elephant in the room that is France?
Save some for the rest of us. No, that's what I gotta say.
Dude.
I'm looking at their bench right now, dude. Crazy. Like they literally have 3 starting goalkeepers for literally some of the biggest clubs in the world. Samba plays for Rennes, but they got, how do you say that name? Chevalier plays plays for PSG, came in for PSG. They have Mainan, is what some people call him. You know what Mainan is?
My nan.
My grandma, kind of English slang. Plays
My nan.
for
That makes sense.
yeah, plays for AC Milan. They have like I'm not going to because I could name off literally every single one of these players, and I can guarantee you everybody's gonna know them.
Yeah.
But listen to this. They have Due, they have Turam, they have Ekatike, they have Kolomoani, Kylian Mbappe, Michael Olise, Dembele.
What? Like,
Like they literally like they have so like it's annoying because it's like, oh, like I have too much money basically, like I can't pick, like they can only take a certain amount of players, and
yeah.
every single attacker I just named would literally be the starting striker, winger, whatever it is for every other country in the world, and it's just crazy. What I say they do lack a bit in is the midfield. Obviously they're very high on the attacking and everything, but like when you have those players, it doesn't matter. Like you could be playing with
Yeah.
zero defenders and you'd probably still win.
Yeah.
So
All you need is one breakaway. Like,
yeah,
that's all
like
you need.
yeah, this is a crazy team. Obviously, probably favorites, which is crazy. 2018 they won. 2022 they came in second. 2026, who knows?
Favorites.
Yeah, favorites for sure.
Yeah. Again, they're probably going to go. I mean, I have them at least going to the final. So I can't see anybody else like truly competing with this team. I probably need to dig into a little bit more on like the Spain national team and, Germany, England, Argentina, the other ones that are probably, on the top of the list as well. But like you mentioned, dude, this attacking team is just, it's so stacked. And you look at like the teams that they're on, and it's like Bayern Munich, PSG, Manchester City, Inter, Real Madrid, Liverpool, Tottenham. Like, these are the biggest clubs in the world, guys. Like, this is
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
absolutely
whoa, whoa,
insane.
whoa, whoa, whoa. Take Tottenham out of there when you say biggest club. Okay,
You're
fine.
right. You're right. You're totally right. But I will say this too, just to kind of point on this team, like, and to kind of give my final point on France. I was watching them play Brazil, and I think I watched them play. I forget who they played after that. And I was watching Michael Olise. Dude, if you guys don't know who Michael Olise is, you're about to find out. For those of you in the States, because obviously the people in the States probably don't know who he is. But holy shit, is this guy good? Like, I think he's going to be the difference maker in this team, because he's very good, and he's very, he's young, he's an attacker, he's great, but I think he's not like a selfish player, and he can assist anybody on that team that's a striker. Like, he will give the perfect pass every time, and he's a freaking southpaw, dude. That's dangerous. I don't know what it is about southpaws, like lefties, wildly good all the time. So good luck with him.
That's why God gave me a right foot and not a left foot, bro. He knew.
He knew, man. He just knew.
Do you want to talk about who I think might be their opponent going into the final?
Yeah, let's do it.
Because, again, we mentioned France, all these attacking players. Now let's move down to having too much and being greedy in the middle of the field with Spain. Because I don't know what it is, what they be putting in Spain. When they conquered Mexico, they didn't give me the genes that they gave these freaking midfielders, bro, because what they be doing is crazy. They have, what is this? Carlos Soler. They have Dani Olmo. They have Pedri. They have Rodri. And they have this other guy for PSG that I can't think of off the top of my head right now. But their midfield is stacked. They're like France, but in the midfield. Where everything happens. The only thing that I think would stop this Spain team from winning is their lack of depth when it comes to striker. They don't have very many good strikers. They have Ferran Torres starting, and as a Barca fan, I'll tell you right now that he is good, but he's not win you the World Cup caliber,
Yeah.
So I think it has to be sort of like it was in 2010, where they have to rely on their midfield to kind of control the game and give these passes, get Lamine Yamal involved in this game as soon as you possibly can.
Yeah.
But this team is also looking very stacked. I don't know what you think about Spain. But
Yeah. I think when I look at this, I think, and I do agree, I think it's what's on everybody's mind, right? It could be a France, Spain, it could be a France, Argentina, France, Germany, France, England, like things like that, right? But when you kind of think about it, now you got to think about, okay, look, you just saw France, they have a crazy attacking team. How can this Spain team stop a Dembele, stop an Mbappe, stop an Olise? Like, if you look at their back line, like, yeah, they have a Rodri, They have Cucurella and a couple others, but it's like, do they really have a team that could stop some of the fastest players that there are out there? Like, and again, it just takes one breakaway. Like we saw in that last World Cup, like I don't know if you remember, but
I remember.
every single time Mbappe touched that ball, dude, he was so fast. And I thought he was going to score every time he touched that ball. He was so quick. So, like, can this Spain team stop a seasoned Mbappe with a very good supporting cast? Like, I don't know. You can only possess the ball so long. You know what I mean? And it only takes one or two chances for them to put one away. So, I don't know.
I think the best way to beat a France team is sort of how Argentina did, and it's sort of starting strong, basically giving yourself a cushion because France is going to score. So
Yeah.
you just kind of got to be a little bit ahead of it because I remember once the World Cup ended I keep saying last year, but the last World Cup, I told my wife, I'm glad that Argentina was always like that one step ahead, that one goal ahead,
Yeah.
because I feel like it would have been a lot harder if France was forward and they were playing more smooth, more controlled, you know. Instead, they were
Mm-hmm.
playing a bit more aggressive and wanting to push the ball
Yeah.
forward. So it allowed Argentina to kind of sit back and defend instead of having to be the ones to do that. So I think that's what you got to do. You got to come in, attack them quickly, try and shut them out, try and
Yeah.
stop them, which it's not going to be easy. You got Cucurella, who's, I believe, more than likely going to start as their starting left back, and
Yeah.
then maybe Kubrasi starts at center back. I don't know. Maybe that's the Barca in me thinking that, but yeah,
Yeah.
it'll just be tough to have a Kubrasi Dean Huijsen back line because, as you've mentioned, most defenders you want them to have this experience going into per se a World Cup final because do you know how old Dean Huijsen is?
Mm-mm.
He's 20 and Kubrasi's 19,
Mm.
so you'd be coming in with two
Mm.
youngsters as your starting center backs if that's what they ended up going. So yeah,
Dang.
it'll be tough, but
Yeah,
I
that
think
is tough.
hopefully it's Argentina or Spain in the final. It's a win-win situation.
That's a win for you, man, for sure. It'll be. I mean, Spain right now ranked number one, Argentina ranked number two, France is ranked number three. So, I mean, it's wild to see that France is ranked in third just because of the talent that they have. But again, we'll see. At the end of the day, like when the game gets going, it really doesn't matter. You know what your ranking is. It just matters who ends up winning the game. So that's always cool to see. We do have, England is a very top, a top team. They're ranked number four. I feel like England always goes in a very top ranked team because of the talent that they have. And then for some reason, in either the first round or the second round of the knockout stage, they always lose. I don't know what it is. Like I don't know why they can't get past that stage, but maybe 2026 is the year. I don't know. Brazil also losing a very good player on their side. They're also a top ranked team, ranked number fifth right now, but they did lose Rafinha. I believe, I don't know if he'll be out of the World Cup,
No,
but
he won't.
Rafinha is out until, it says, early May, so he will definitely lose a lot of games for Barcelona, which is, it's very tough to see because he's such a good player. So
I hate Brazil.
that's a tough hit.
I hate these friendlies, man. I
Yeah,
do hate
yeah,
it. It sucks. It's part of the game. I get it. But when I watch one of the best players, probably the most important player for Barcelona, like I know you don't watch a lot of Barcelona games, but I do. And when I tell you when Rafinha is on the field, it's literally like night and day difference. Like he's literally Barca's
really.
best player. He makes all the difference. He's running back and forth. He's if you just watch one game when he's playing, pay attention to him, and he's just all over the field. He's dropping back. He's doing
Hmm.
this. Yeah. So I understand why he gets injured because he's just so all over the place. But
Yeah, for sure.
unfortunate for Barca.
Yeah, that is unfortunate. But some of the other ones, Portugal, Netherlands, Morocco, Belgium, Germany. Germany, it's funny. I saw somewhere that somebody was saying, "Oh, Germany could be, this dark horse." And, I remember saying that to you before we were even jumping on, and we were like, "What do you mean Germany, a dark horse? Like they're probably one of the best countries ever when it comes to the World Cup." But I do understand it in a sense where we are, everybody's talking about France, Spain, Argentina, the top three, and Germany, a team that's always very good, the 10th ranked team right now in FIFA rankings. They're not being talked about as much. So you never know how good this team can be. You know that they're going to be good, but how good? I mean, you never really know. But I think, I mean, they're going to be good no matter
Mhm.
what. So, you got Sane up front, Havertz, Wirtz. Like, you got so many different players on this freaking team that's just absolutely ballers. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So,
for sure.
Kimmich,
I feel like
yeah.
they have a well-rounded team. Like nobody, I would say, crazy good. Obviously, Verts made a crazy move to Liverpool this year. He hasn't had the best year
Hmm.
with that 140 million move, but I feel like they're very well-rounded. They have Nico Lauterbeck, who plays for Borussia Dortmund in the back, who's actually been very good and has been looked at by a lot of the top clubs. They've had a couple bad World Cups. I'm not gonna lie to you. What was it? 2018. They got bounced out in the group stage because of South
Mm,
Korea Mexico
yeah.
connection. The last World Cup, obviously not the best showing. It's
Yeah.
it's hard when you come from a generation of Neuer,
Yeah.
Lamb, why can I not think of his name? Schweinsteiger, Royce. Well, Royce didn't play in the World Cup actually, but like you come
Those.
and you have all these players, which again, even if you like think and look at those names, I wouldn't say they're crazy world class players like a Ronaldo, a Messi, and Mbappe, but they're just
Yeah.
well-rounded players that are good at their positions and not just good at their positions, but work well together. So I just
Yeah.
feel like Germany kind of has to get that team back so they're not just relying on one player and play well as a team. So once that happens, Germany should be back. And I think this year will be a year for that because they've had two bad World Cups back to back, and we said Germany is number 2 in World Cup wins. So
Mm, yeah.
they're not just going to sit back and continue to let this happen. They're going to work and make sure that they're giving their fans, their countrymen, something worth watching for. So I'll be
For sure.
excited for Germany this year.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, a lot of different teams that are very, very good. So it's exciting to see. So I guess just to kind of cap this off, the whole international stuff, maybe what we do really quickly is just pull up the tables that are currently live and currently standing as of right now. Maybe just, see who we can win, the two teams that we can see win out of the group stage there, and then maybe just say, your top 1, 2, like who do you actually think is going to make it to the World Cup final, just given that, the group that they're going to have to come out of. And then I believe when it comes to the playoff, I think they kind of group them in different spots. So it's not really going to be like
Hmm.
two good teams on one side. It will happen, and it could happen, but mostly like the best two teams will be on the opposite sides. Do you have this little thing right here? Just
Uh,
share that. It's in the thing.
yes, let me check. I believe I'm on there already. Nope, wrong thing.
It's the middle ones right here.
My stuff not updating.
Right, yeah. Here, I can
Oh,
send it in the thing.
I understand. I was looking at the.
You
I'm going
understand the
through it right now.
assignment?
Yeah, I was already on the Discord. I thought that's what you were talking about. But let's go.
Yeah, so maybe we can quickly walk through it, and then if you had a last thing to kind of look over, we can do that. But let's
Mhm.
see. So go to groups right there. There you go. Perfect. Okay, so Group A, you have Mexico, South Africa, South Korea, and the Czech Republic. Top two teams to kind of come out of this. What do you think? Mexico, Korea?
Yeah, that's what I would guess. Although
Yeah.
obviously there's going to be 8 third place teams that make it out. I could
Oh,
see
that's right.
I could see a possible Czech coming out.
Mm,
We'll look at
okay.
the other
Okay.
things, but Mexico,
Yeah.
South Korea for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And then we do have the others. Let's see. So we have Canada, Bosnia, Qatar, and Switzerland.
Hmm.
I mean, you would hope, right? Canada.
Yeah.
And then this one might be a little bit of a toss up. I think Switzerland is probably what most people will say, but I think Bosnia might be a little bit of a surprise here, just given the game that they just had against Italy, if I'm being honest, dude.
Yeah, it's Italy though.
I know, but they played well. They played their hearts out. So, we'll see what happens with that one. I do
I
think Canada gets out for sure.
Yeah, I again, Canada, this is all biased, just so you guys know. This is all biased. Canada is getting out, and Based off the way Switzerland has been in the past, I can see them making it out. I would probably say Canada, Switzerland. Are you thinking Canada, Bosnia is what you said?
Yeah, probably. I would say Canada, Bosnia, and if, this might be a situation where the third place gets out, where it's either Bosnia or Switzerland
Yeah.
getting out of this stage. So, Group C, we do have Brazil, Morocco, Haiti, and Scotland. I don't think there's any question between Brazil and
Yeah.
Morocco there.
Yeah.
Top two teams for sure.
Those should be it. Again, Brazil, one of those teams that has not been very good the last few World Cups since they lost 7-1. Morocco, obviously, probably, I believe they were the African nation that has made it the farthest into a World Cup, which
Yeah.
was the semifinal. Uh,
Hmm.
and they were so close to making um,
Yeah.
that final. Like this was a very good team the previous World Cup. So they are going to go into this with very high expectations, not just from themselves, but from around the world. So hopefully they can live up to the hype. But yeah, Brazil,
Yeah.
Morocco, for sure.
Yeah. Group D, we have the U.S., Paraguay, Australia, and Turkey. I would probably give it to the U.S. and Turkey. I'm assuming you would agree. Maybe a Paraguay third place win for them.
Yeah, I think the U.S. and Australia will be the two teams to get out of this.
Okay.
Yeah, obviously
Mm,
Turkey's good. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know what it is. I just feel like Australia has been decent these last few World Cups. So I don't know their
mm,
squad very well. So maybe some of the players that made them good in the past aren't even playing anymore.
yeah.
And I will say, I believe Australia has one of the easier paths into the World Cup because I
Yeah.
think, yeah, they're in there pretty often.
Yeah, for sure. Group E, we have Germany, Curacao, Ivory Coast, and Ecuador. I mean, I would say it's a pretty easy group for Germany here. And then second place, I think it's pretty tough. I mean, I want to say Ecuador just because I probably know them a little bit more, but Ivory Coast has been, hit or miss for some of them. I don't know the other teams too well, but I would have to say Germany, Ecuador.
That's kind of what I was gonna say too, because let me see if the player that I'm thinking in my head is on there.
And
Uh,
I do believe what Curacao is the smallest country to qualify for the World Cup. So I have a hard time believing they're going to win this. I just do.
although, what was it? Three? How often is the AFCON? Do you know?
Every 3-4 years, maybe.
Because correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe the Ivory Coast won the AFCON pretty recently. So they will be a good team. I am gonna go with Ecuador on this, but Ivory Coast could be between Ivory Coast and Ecuador. I could see them being one of the top three or one of the
Yeah.
three.
Okay.
So
Nice. Group F, we have Netherlands, Japan, Sweden, newly added Sweden, and Tunisia. Um, I mean, Netherlands, a very easy. Well, I guess Japan's always pretty good. They're always pretty competitive. Sweden just get in, so that's another one that could be a pretty exciting team. But
mhm.
I do think Netherlands comes out on top. Personally, I would love to see Japan go through, so I'm going to say Netherlands and Japan.
I think it'll be the Netherlands and Sweden getting out of this one. Netherlands, great team, good midfield, good defense. Virgil van Dijk probably his final World Cup going into this, but he's such a great player that I can't see them losing this one, especially with not an easy group per se compared
Hmm.
to some of these others, but with the caliber of team that they have, caliber of players, I feel like they should make it out of this one very easily. And I know Sweden
Yeah,
just got in, but I don't think I'd count them out, especially with
for sure.
Riz up front. So I'm gonna go
Yeah.
Netherlands, Sweden in this one.
Nice. Yeah, then we have Group G. We have Belgium, Egypt, Iran, and then New Zealand. Again, probably a pretty clear front runner with Belgium. You do have Egypt, which should have a Mo Salah in the lineup, right? And then you do have Iran and New Zealand. Sticky situation with Iran, given everything going on right now. But if you ask me, I do think they're probably going to end up playing, to be honest.
Ooh.
So I think they're still going to play, to be completely honest. But I do think Belgium is the best in this group for sure.
Yeah, I wouldn't see them as a for sure number one team in this group. I don't think I wouldn't guarantee them coming out first. Egypt is good. You said they have Mo Salah. They also have Marmoush. Egypt has a pretty sneakily good team that I think they could actually finish first in this group. So I'd again, I'm probably going to go Egypt, Belgium, but I
Yeah.
could also see New Zealand making it out of this group in either the first or second place, depending on how things go.
Nice. Okay. And then for Group H, we do have Spain, Cape Verde, Saudi Arabia, and Uruguay. Another one where you probably have, two powerhouses. Spain has always been very good. Uruguay has always been a very good team for, the South America. So my vote's on Spain and Uruguay. I don't think there's any competition in this one for Group H.
Yeah. Nope. Spain, Uruguay, very
Yeah.
easily. I actually believe Spain will finish first in their group in this one for sure. Uruguay
Yeah,
with a close second place, but Spain
for
first for
sure.
sure.
Yeah. Then we do have what maybe some of them we might call the group of death, man. This group I, pretty tough group, man. France, Senegal, and then the winner of Iraq and Bolivia will be in this one, and Norway. So we've already discussed France, Senegal, the AFCON champions, quotations, and then Norway with a very deadly Holland up front and a good supporting cast with a very unlucky Iraq or Bolivia team. But I think France and Norway take this one, to be honest.
I don't want to disrespect anybody, you know what I mean? But looking
Don't
at
really
this team,
disrespect the AFCON champs, man.
yeah, true. Well, I thought we already talked about the AFCON champs.
I think that's why I said
Um,
that.
I know, I'm just kidding. France has to win this group for sure. There's no way they don't finish first. Senegal, Norway, that'll be the,
Yeah,
I
yeah, for
feel like
sure.
looking at this group, the ones that have qualified, I feel like all three of those guys are going to get out of this group. I could be wrong. Norway,
Really?
yeah, 1, 2, and 3. I feel like whoever finishes third in this could possibly be one of the better, because they're all going to win one game for sure. I'm not going to
Okay.
say what team they're going to beat, but they're all going to win one game for sure. Is
Okay, yeah,
how
yeah.
I'm looking at it. So, depending on how well Iraq or who was it again?
Bolivia.
Bolivia do, some of these teams might have a decent amount of goals. Because imagine either Bolivia or Iraq trying to defend Holland, trying to
Yeah.
defend Mbappe.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
going to be tough. So these games are going to be very exciting. I feel like this is probably going to be the best group in the entire World Cup. So
For sure. That's a good statement for sure. Group J, you have the Argentina, Algeria, Austria, and Jordan. I mean, I don't think you could have written a better script for Argentina to get out of the group. So I think Argentina definitely wins this one without too much of a tough break, to be honest. So
that's all I got to say. Just show that.
Leo Messi card, baby.
Yeah, here we go again. FIFA paying to get Argentina to the final, guys. Argentina and Algeria should make it out of this.
Yeah, yeah.
A lot of A's in this group.
I know. I just looking at that.
Austria. Um, Austria's not a horrible team. I feel like Argentina number one guaranteed.
Yeah,
Algeria, Austria, Jordan. I feel like this is probably the best group those three could have landed in, because it's kind of outside of Argentina. It's a like
free for all.
open. Any of them could make it. So yeah,
We'll see too, because I mean, we all thought Argentina was going to beat Saudi Arabia last World Cup in the first opening game, and they didn't. So you never know what can
and guess
happen.
what? They didn't lose the game after that.
That's very
They also
true. But
hadn't lost a game for like an entire year prior to that game. So,
that's
and
wild.
from what
Yeah,
I've read or seen, it's like the Argentinian team was like, hey, like that was the perfect time to lose, because it woke us up. It was like, oh wait, we're not invincible. We got to lock in.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's true. It was a good wake up call. Okay, last two groups. We have Group K with Portugal, DR Congo, Uzbekistan, and Colombia. Portugal, Colombia getting out of this one. Another one where they need to get Cristiano Ronaldo out of the group stage and into the playoffs. Maybe he can finally score a goal in the second round. So maybe we'll see.
Uh, I honestly think Colombia and Uzbekistan will be the two teams to come out of this group.
Dude, you're such a hater, bro. You're such a hater.
What?
You're the biggest Ronaldo hater I've ever met, dude.
Nuh-uh. There's bigger haters out in the world than me, bro. Whenever you think you're big, somebody's bigger. So no, yeah, I think I honestly this is my thought process. I feel like Colombia might finish first in this group, if I'm being
They
honest.
might. I
Uh,
don't think so, but
yeah,
okay.
but Portugal is gonna get out. Um, never mind. Okay, no, I was just gonna keep hating. Yes, Portugal and Colombia, they will make it out.
There you go. Group L, last group here: England, Croatia, Ghana, and Panama. Probably another runner-up for the group of death here. I feel like England is always in a very tough group. You know what I mean? I feel they're always in like a group of death situation. So they definitely have some tough matchups with Croatia, which is a great team. Ghana, which is a great African country team that's always competing, and then Panama always seems to do what they have to do in the South American region. So I mean, I think it's going to be England, Croatia. I have a hard time thinking that England or Croatia don't make it out. But this could be one where, the third place team here in this group gets out as well. So that's how I see it.
Yeah, I was looking back at some of the other World Cups, but in 2018, Panama and England were actually in the same uh group.
Mm,
Let me see, 2022. England gets out. Croatia should get out of this. There's no Modric.
mm.
So Ghana is a really good team. They're a consistently good team in the World Cups. So I can see Ghana sneaking out of this and knocking Croatia out. Or like, again, one of those situations where possibly Croatia, Ghana end up second, third, but they still make it out because they were one of the better third place teams. So I feel like I'm gonna go England, Ghana getting out, and Croatia possibly getting in
Ooh,
with a third place.
third place.
Mhm.
Gotcha. Dang. Okay. Well, there you go. That is our. I think once they kind of get the bracket out, we'll kind of start kind of filling something out. But if you're asking me today, who's potentially going to win the World Cup, I'm gonna put my vote in for France. So that's who I think is winning this whole thing.
Yeah.
I think they're just too good on paper, on the field, on film. They're too good. Who's your winner?
I want to say it, but I know it's not true. I want to say Argentina, but I really don't think they do have a good team. But 2022 was just like a different like side of Argentina. They really
Yeah.
wanted this. They felt like it was going to be Messi's last World Cup, so I feel like there was like some sort of fire lit in them. This definitely is his last World Cup, but I don't know if they'll have that same fire because they're like, oh, we already have it, so maybe
Right.
that'll drop them down. I do believe, again, like I said earlier, it should be a Spain versus France final, and I do believe, although France has all that attacking power, I do feel like Spain is a bit more well-rounded. In my
Okay.
opinion, they do lack a little bit on the front side with the attacking, but they have decent defense, a great midfield, decent goalkeeping, and
The midfield won them the World Cup in
that's
what
what I'm
was it,
saying, bro. Like,
2014?
it's not like
So
they're just gonna hold the ball; they're gonna look to attack. So
yeah,
you could
yeah,
have the worst attacker that only knows how to shoot, but if you have the midfielders, your quarterbacks, the person that can get them the ball to just do the shooting, that's all that matters.
yeah. It's
You can have
true.
the fastest players in the world, best attackers, but if you can't get them the ball,
Yeah,
useless. So
true.
I'm going with Spain winning the World Cup this year as my very early prediction, which, it's not a shock.
Yeah,
They're one of the favorites, and you have France going into it. Again, not a shock, one of the favorites, and they're favorites for a reason,
yeah,
and I'm not going to go against that. The
yep.
only the only way that either of those two teams don't win it is because Argentina won it, but I don't see that really happening this year. So
Right. Yeah, for sure. We'll see, man. We'll see what
maybe
happens.
Mexico. Maybe Mexico. Who knows?
Maybe Mexico, maybe the U.S. We'll see.
Maybe.
Okay, we've gone so much over. So maybe what we do, we'll kind of save this story for the next one.
Mhm. Mhm.
And then
Yep.
what we do, maybe we just kind of quickly look at some of the MLS games that we do have coming back this weekend. So a full slate on Saturday. MLS action back in. Let me put this. Are you sharing it?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay, cool. So again, there's only going to be games on Saturday, no games on Sunday. Full slate. So I think when you kind
Oh,
of look at this, oh, there you go.
yeah.
When you look at this, like there's so many different games to kind of look at, but just as a reminder, right? Like you have the battle in the East with Miami, with Nashville. Many are saying Nashville is now like the best team in the Eastern Conference.
Who said
Western
that?
Conference. A lot of people saying it, dude. And then the Western Conference, you got LAFC, just kind of the juggernauts out there, haven't lost a game, but also San Diego FC, RSL, kind of a dark horse. So we'll kind of see what happens with them. But any games stand out here for you, my friend? Anything that you're looking at for this Saturday, getting back into some of this MLS action?
I feel like a lot of these games are like super. How do you say it? Well-rounded, where I can't like think of like one team is a lot, or I guess like this and like LAFC, Orlando's gonna get cooked.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if we're looking at an RSL versus Sporting Kansas City, this is my game to watch because RSL is coming from a break. They tied San Diego 2-2,
Yeah.
so they want to come in from this break with the wheels hitting the ground and running. So I'm excited to see this game. No disrespect to Sporting Kansas City, but I feel like RSL has been a better team this year. So I feel
For
like
sure.
RSL.
Sporting Kansas City's in last place
Yeah,
in the Western Conference.
yeah. I just people get mad. So
For sure, for sure.
yeah.
But yeah, it will be an interesting game to watch for sure. If you're asking me, dude, my eyes are definitely on the one of the last games of the day with the two teams that are kind of the powerhouses one of the powerhouses in California with San Jose versus San Diego. San Jose being, that team that's just like, yo, where did this come from, man? Like they've won so many games this year, and they just got off of a win against the Vancouver Whitecaps, which many people have said like, hey, this is like one of the better teams again. And then San Diego FC again, they've just been super good all season long. So, hey, you have the 3 and the 4 going up against each other on Saturday night, dude, like 8:30 under the lights, bro. Like, what more can you ask for, So I'm excited for that one. I'm going to remind everybody to update your kick base because you already know you're gonna forget. So update your kick base now. Go over there and make sure you're not over budget. Get your guys in. Do what you got to do.
On
But
Friday.
yeah, there you go. I might do that. But that's kind of the game I have to watch. But there's so many good games going on. Again, a full slate on Saturday. Do I wish there was a game on Sunday? Absolutely. But it is what it is. This is what we get for match week 6. So very, very fun. So lots of stuff that we covered, man, especially in international ball, given the break. But again, we're back in the MLS grind. Any final thoughts from you, my friend, before we sign off?
No, not really. Just excited for some more MLS soccer. It'll be interesting, and obviously getting very excited for the World Cup coming here to the US, getting a lot closer, getting some makeshift stands out there. Hopefully nobody falls.
Yep. Stay safe,
And
man.
yeah,
Somebody already fell in the Banorte. Did you
yeah,
see
I
that?
saw that you sent that in the group. But yeah, I mean, other than that, go check out the pack opening I posted. Let me know
Oh
if that's
yeah.
something you guys are interested in.
We
Cards
got
are
to get a
not
clip
easy
out
to
for
get
that, dude.
nowadays. Put one out today, just
Okay,
kind of
perfect.
introducing it, and then I have two going out tomorrow. So
Okay,
yeah,
perfect. Hell yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, for sure, man. So yeah, love the pack opening idea. Again, we do have the skill challenge that we put out for some of the other channels as well. So hopefully they get those out this week. I'm excited to see those and kind of participate in those. That'll be a lot of fun, interacting with all of them and kind of continuing, that tradition or that challenge for the coming weeks. So we're pumped. Yeah, a lot of international games, but we're back on the MLS grind, man. So we keep going, we keep balling. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Thank you so much for checking out the podcast. Like, subscribe on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, all the above. Appreciate y'all. Thank you. Peace.